Shalom to the 144,000. And the rest of the elect out there, shalom to you all. Anyway, I'm going to entitle this video, my commentary on Esau is the end of the world explained, which I watched part of it. This was the individual right here. And if you know his face, I remember the last time I seen him was maybe 10 years ago or more. And it seemed like he just popped up on the scene. Or maybe his videos don't come up in my algorithm. Whatever the case may be. And he did a video the other day, sometime last week. I forget the subject. So I watched the part where he's trying to explain 2nd Ezra's chapter 6, verse 9. Starting from 7. He started from 7 to 9. And this was a response, meaning response, by GMS South Carolina 08. And the individual right here, he mentioned GMS. I think he mentioned the elders average, and he broke it down completely wrong. He went to, what was it, Daniel chapter 7, and he went to the word divide. And as a matter of fact, I should go to that. I believe he went to Daniel chapter 7. Bear me for a minute. I believe the guy is set up. Got a lot of these Christians and different people coming up against. Everybody's like giving their take on the Israelites. I'm not with it. I used to be an Israelite. They do this and that. We believe a lot of them are set up. Okay, I believe he did mention 25th verse. And he shall speak great words against the Most High. And we teach that it's America as one of the horns, because it took down 3 kings, which you go into the history of a horn starts as a little thing and it grows. The 3 horns that it took down, which is in the previous verses, you had the Revolutionary War, French-American War, Spanish-American War, and you have many other wars, but those are 3 prominent wars. And the one horn, matter of fact, I'm forced, let me do this. Got to go back into these breakdowns again. So this beast that was diverse from the rest is talking about 2 different time stamps in history. You got when they first mentioned the beast, it's diverse from the rest. That's the ancient pagan Roman Empire of 2,000 years ago. Then there's another leg to the beast, which is the Roman Empire all over again. It's not being called the Roman Empire, but it's known as the beast, what we call a beast system, which the woman would be a part of that system. The woman that sat upon the scarlet colored beast. And Revelation, it says that until the ancient of days came and judgment was given to the saints of the Most High, and the time came that the saints possessed the kingdom. Now the saints are also known as Jacob. When you go to Isaiah 14:1, it says, "For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel." So when you go to Second Ezra 6 verse 7, get down to the 9th verse, start the 7th verse, it's talking about the same thing. That's why I mentioned Jacob. It said, "Thus said the fourth beast shall be the fourth kingdom upon the earth." So it came into power more than 2,000 years ago. It died, and it came back into power through Spain. I said this before, through Christopher Columbus coming to the New World. The beast will be bigger because it's going to extend to the other side of the world. That's when the white man came over. So we're under the beast system, NATO, EU, the United States, and Canada, which shall be diverse from all kingdoms and shall devour the whole earth. Right. So what part of the beast devoured the whole earth? Not the first, when it first mentions the beast, it mentions the beast coming back in Revelation 13. So the Roman Empire did not have rule over the whole earth, but now it has rule over the whole earth. The proof is the capital of the beast, you can say, unofficial capital is America, because the military, there's 800, some say 800, some say far more than 800 U.S. military bases around the planet Earth. Anytime you have a U.S. military base in another country, that's called a what do you call that? Occupation, which means they control that place. They got a puppet leader up in there, and she'll tread it down and break it in pieces. And the 10 horns out of this kingdom are 10 kings that shall rise, and another shall rise after them, and he shall be diverse from the first, and he shall subdue 2 kings. So that represents America being one of the horns that came out of one of the 3 kings, which was Great Britain. And this is talking about all these people here, the beast system going back about 2,000 years ago, plus 2,000 years ago, and the beast system that we had, the new beast system, the reborn beast system, it's all referring to the Edomites. And we have identified who the Edomites, what they look like. And you have so-called J scholars, historians, that say that the Romans, the pagan Roman Empire of 2,000 years ago, descend from the Edomites. But what they don't teach you is they're Edomites too. And he shall speak great words against the Most High, and they doing that now, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High. That's taking us over, putting us in slavery, killing us, raping our women, destroying us. And we're still destroyed to this day, and think to change times and laws. They didn't go by the lunar calendar and the Sabbath and so forth. They had their own days, which started with the Roman Empire. You have the daylight saving time. You have the days are not first day, second day, first. The month is not based upon the moon, the new moon. And the calendar's all screwed up. And they shall be given unto his hand until a time and times and the dividing of times. Dividing, if it's a time, let's say it's 1,000 years. Let's say it's 100 years, right? A time is 100 years. You got to fill in the blank. 100 years times represent 200 years. So that's 300 years. And the dividing of time, meaning what's half of a time if it's 100 years? It's 50 years. That adds up to 350 years, which we believe and teach and know that that's talking about us here in this country dealing with the bulk of the slaves coming over, and that's about 350 years, because at that one point we were in hardcore slavery. Then Esau started kind of taking care of us, and now he's cutting it with the 70s really started cutting because you had a lot of programs. You had a lot of programs back there. You can get skills from the government. I know because I was part of that. They cut that when Reagan came in. They cut a lot of those. They used to, I remember when they had doctors. I was living in the city at the time as a child, and you always have an Edomite man that might be 50, 55, 60 years old. He wore black pants, leather shoes with rubber soles, white shirt, stethoscope with a black leather bag, and he would have his tools in there, and he would go from house to house in the hood, and he would examine your mother, he would examine the children, then he'd give the children a lollipop, check their heart rate, and y'all was doing good. And when and that was big at that time. And then they even showed that in the movie that the first movie that Denzel played in. His father was supposed to be an Edomite and his mother was a Jake. I forget the name of the movie, but I remember seeing that in the theaters. And the father, which was an Edomite, was married to an Edomite woman. So here comes his son, which is played by Denzel, and she lost it. Like, what the fuck, Because he kind of stepped out, And they had the scene where the doctor came over and he was dressed just like the way I remember he was dressed. He was a middle-aged man, 55, 60 years old, black pants, black leather shoes, rubber soles, white shirt, stethoscope. And a lot of them doctors were a little overweight too, But there was always a white man. They never sent a so-called black man. So during that time, you got certain things. You had certain programs. The government would pay for you to be an auto mechanic, a nurse, this or that. So you had these different programs. So when Reagan came in, he cut all that shit. Well, Nixon cut it in the 70s. He cut the medical part, so the doctors stopped coming to your house, So he cut that. But then when Reagan came in, he cut all them programs where you get training and then you would get paid like you was working at a job. And Jake wasn't doing nothing. It was a waste of time because the Jakes that I came up with, I was learning shit. But the other ones, they were bullshitting. There might have been, if there's 50, let's say there's 50 guys. Maybe 5 of the guys were serious. The rest of the guys came to get a fucking check. That's why you Negroes ain't got shit. Because you ain't about nothing, man. Here the white man trying to help you out. Anyway, so now it's being cut. So what Trump is doing, he's got a script. He's nothing but a puppet. Trump this and Trump. Don't worry about Trump. Trump is just a puppet. Because they can't do it in once. They had to do it piecemeal. They had to do a little Democratic guy in there, and then they had to do a Republican guy, then they had to do this guy. It's all piecemeal, man. It's all gradualism. So this guy is going to say the dividing of times equates to right here. Let me see if I can remember. Where is it? Okay, the word there is asunder. I believe he said asunder. And he said asunder and dividing is the same thing. And then he comes up with this. Matter of fact, you know what I'm going to do? Let me just go ahead and play it. Let me play it from the beginning. And he doesn't know what's going on. I don't even think he's one of them Yah Israelites. He probably teaches that the Europeans that they descended from the people of Japhet. So let's listen. And like I said, I strongly believe he was sent.
So he's going to tell you that he considered those things, or did he consider the things that he just read, or did he consider these things that's about to follow. Let's see. Then I consider these things, and they all were made through me alone. So the Most High is the I that's speaking. Let's continue. And through none other, by me also they shall be, and by none other. Then answered I and said, what shall be the parting asunder of the times? Okay. So he asked the question, what shall be the parting asunder of times? Or other words, you could say the dividing of times, right? Does the biblical text talk about dividing of times anywhere?
It said asunder, and you said a dividing. So he equates 2nd Ezra 6 with Daniel 7, which has absolutely nothing to do with that. It's talking about, and I'm going to show you that. I went to to Google. Let me let it play. Even the Google knows that. Even the AI overall overview knows that.
So we're going to get back to Esdras, but I've got to show you this, brothers and sisters. Don't get mad at me and start talking about me. Start throwing shots because I'm busting up your doctrine. Talk about me if you will. But hey, this is the Most High as speaking to the nation of Israel. Watch this now. Stay tuned. This is Daniel 7, verse 24 and 25. And the 10 horns out of this kingdom are 10 kings that shall arise, and another shall rise after them, and he shall be diverse from the first. And
so what is that talking about? I don't even think he explains what it says what it is.
He shall subdue 3 kings, and he shall speak great words.
Now, any scholar would tell you that that's the pagan ancient Roman Empire. They're not going to say, oh, that's a new Roman Empire, which is America or Babylon. They're not going to say it. But they will tell you, you can go to it. You can go to commentary, go to Google. You can put in Daniel 7, Daniel 7, verse 7, I believe. That's where it goes to the beast that's diverse from the others. And they will tell you it's the Roman Empire 2,000 years ago. But it won't say, oh, but it's also talking about NATO and the EU. They're not going to tell you that.
Against the Most High, and shall the saints of the Most High, and think to change times and laws, and they shall be given into his hand until a time and times, and the dividing of times. Boom.
He doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. He took the word asunder, and then he took the word divide, which means something else. That times, and the dividing the times adds up to 350 years. That was a time, like we stayed in under the Egyptians for a time. We stayed under the Babylonian for 70 years. So there's different time periods that we stayed in captivity. We was in captivity for a long while under the Egyptians. And we're under the captivity of the Roman Empire for a certain amount of time. So everything is based upon time. So this time is broken up into a time plus times, which is 2, and a dividing of a time, which means 350 years. A time times and a dividing of time represents 100, and times represent 200, and a dividing of time represents 350 years. The bulk of the slaves, when they came over here, 16, they came before that, but when they really started coming over here, it was early 1600s, up until the 70s. That's when they started cutting them programs. I remember. You can get a skill. The government will give you a skill to be an auto mechanic, and they would pay you while you're getting that skill. Because I know, because I was a part of that. And they cut that thing as soon as Reagan came in. I believe he came in '81. They cut all. They had them a lot of programs where they paid you.
So, Second Ezra is talking about that time of that fourth beast who was more diverse, right? Not.
Now he's not telling you who the beast is. He's not telling you that they're the Romans. I don't have the access to this whole thing, but he didn't say it was the Romans. And you can know goddamn well he's not going to say it's talking about NATO, the EU, the U.S. and Canada. You know goddamn well, because he doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. Like I said, he's set up to deceive people. He's a stumbling block.
Esau, right? Now, let's continue.
And I'm saying it again. If you were to run into him and ask him who Esau is, I doubt it. I doubt it very seriously that he would say it's talking about the white people. So he's set up. Like I said, I hadn't seen this guy in well over 10 years. All of a sudden he pops, and he aged too. He aged.
Now, back to Second Ezra. He said, now we know what he's talking about. Then answered I said,
no, we don't, because you didn't explain anything. You didn't explain who the beast is. You didn't explain who Esau is today, whether Esau is still among us.
What shall be the parting asunder of time? Talk about what Daniel said, right? And when shall be the end of the first?
Which was Esau. And as you read it, it'll tell you. Esau is the beginning, and Esau is the end, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. So somebody's got to be ruling right now. Right now. Either Esau is ruling or Jacob's ruling. If Jacob's ruling, pursuant to the fulfillment of Isaiah 14:1, then we would live in righteousness, as Peter said in 2 Peter 3. There dwelleth righteousness. There dwelleth righteousness is in the kingdom when Jacob rules, which Jacob represent Israel. So if Jacob is not in power, who's in power? The Moabites? No, the Moabites are not in power. Ishmaelites? No. The Edomites. Esau. Esau is interchangeable with the word Edomites. Esau is the first Edomite. His sons and daughters, his descendants are known as Edomites. So either Jacob is in power right now or Esau is in power. Who's in power? Esau is in power because if Jacob was in power, we'd be in the kingdom. Let me bring this back. And the ones of you that can't get in, you go with this guy, that's on y'all. Okay?
Now, back to Second Ezra. He said, now we know what he's talking about. Then answered I said, what?
No, we don't, because you didn't explain anything.
What shall be the parting asunder of time? Talk about what Daniel said, right? And when shall be the end of the first?
Who's the first? Go back to Jacob. When you go back to Genesis 25. When you go back to Genesis 25, it tells you who the first son is, which symbolizes he's going to be the first to rule. And then Jacob is going to rule.
And the beginning of that which follows, right?
That which followeth is Jacob. So this is Ezra talking to the spirit, the great spirit. So he understands about Esau and Jacob, and he said, when is Jacob going to come into power?
Right. So Ezra knew what the prophet Daniel is talking about. So he's GMS, South Carolina prophet.
Okay, so he's talking about him. This guy, like I said, this man's set up. He's set up to deceive people.
He is elaborating on Daniel's vision. So he's talking about the dividing of time. When is that going to happen, right? Okay, now he's going to explain it. He says, what shall be the parting asunder of time, the dividing of time, and when shall the end of the first,
which is Esau. The Esau got to go down before Jacob comes in.
and the beginning of it that follows,
The it that followeth is Jacob.
right? So we have two things. We have the end and the beginning of that to follow. Now, in Daniel 7 weeks of prophecy, right? We're suspended in time, which means that it's not going from one period and then right directly into the other, but there is a gap, right?
It doesn't matter if it's a fucking gap. It doesn't matter if there's a 10-year gap, a 50-year gap, a 500-year gap. If Esau's in power and there's a pause, there's a gap, who's in power? Esau. So let's say it's a 500-year gap. When does Jacob come in? After 500 years, after that gap. You can call it a gap if you want to.
So between the beginning and that which
Like the gap in your fucking teeth.
follows, there's a gap, right? That's what he's talking about. The end. Now watch this now. And he said unto me, from Abraham to Isaac and to Jacob and Esau were born of him.
He still didn't tell me who Esau is. Who are the Edomites? If we're still in that gap, then who are the Edomites? Who's ruling? Very simple. Who's ruling right now? Whether it's a pause, a cap, whatever the fuck you want to call it, who's ruling right now?
Jacob's hand held first the head of Esau.
It's the hill, dumbass. Not the head. It's the hill. Nigga.
Okay? For Esau is the end of the world. Right?
What world?
That's the end of the rulership of the Israelite kingdom. That's the end.
That didn't say that. Are you fucking senile? It didn't say the end of the Israelite kingdom. It said Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. Another name for Israel's kingdom is Jacob's kingdom.
Dividing of time, the beginning of the end, right? And Jacob is the beginning of it that follows, right? So that which follows is that which comes next, right? Esau was the last ruler of the kingdom. He was the last Shemite ruler, descendant of Abraham.
What you mean he was? He still is. He still is. But you know what? I ain't got no problem with this guy because he's set up to get you, you non-elect. He's there to get you to follow him. Follow guys like him. Follow guys like Nate and other false prophets out there. Other fake Israelites.
Abraham's what he's saying. That ruled Israel. And that which follows comes after that is when we are regathered back from the nations with the Mashiach. You call Yahushua ben, how you say?
See, he can't. These niggas be following us. He said Yahushua. It's Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. That's why he's stuttering over that, man. Go home and take a nap, nigga.
Never mind. All right. So that's that right now. So when the Mashiach comes back and gathers us back into the land, that's when that time starts. So
we got no problem with that. We got no problem with that, man. The hell the F you talking about?
Now we're in a suspended time, just like in Daniel 7 week of prophecy.
If we're in suspended time, so what? Okay, let's say we're in a suspended time. I go with that, suspended time. Before the suspension, before the Lord hit the pause button, who was in power? Was it Esau or Jacob? It was Esau. So under the suspended time, who's still in power? When they hit the pause button to start the game all again, who's going to be in power? An NBA playoff game. If there's a pause to the game, the referee has to officiate. They stop the clock, right? Let's say team number A is above 12 points above beyond team number B. When they go back into play, does the points change? No.
We're suspended. We're going to enter back into the last week, and then we're going back home. So that's what that means. The end means the end of the government of Israel. Shalom.
Are you out your fucking mind, man? You need to go home and take a nap.
All right, Shalom. All praise to Yahweh.
Well, I explained it, but I'll let this play.
Hashem Yahweh Shai. Double honor to the.
These Edomites are desperate. That's why they get these cronies out here. These phonies.
The apostles and elders of GMS. Shalom to the hopefully elect. And this is going to be a response to Esau at the end of the world explained. All right, and this guy right here, Kazak Charles, the false prophet, he has no idea. I mean, that was an awful video, man. It's embarrassing for you. Anyway, the story goes like this. This guy did a video a few days ago entitled Esau is not the Caucasian. I did a response video to it. Response, Esau is not the Caucasian.
Oh, no, he didn't. No, he didn't. Well, who is Esau then? Who are the Edomites? That's what I'd like to know. Who are the Edomites?
Yeah, right. Hashtag wrong, hashtag old bottle, hashtag failure, hashtag through, hashtag cooked. And this guy is all those things and more. For those that see this video now, you can catch this video on GMS South Carolina.
He's all those things in a bag of chips.
08 on YouTube. The video is 1 hour and 7 minutes long, 56 seconds. I put his whole video that he put on TikTok in the intro, and then I addressed all his points, and I proved that yes, Esau is the so-called white man, which is our doctrine. Okay, we've proven it time and again. Now this dude,
it's the white man's doctrine. Go to Google, put in Edomites or Esau. What you gonna get? Pictures of white men.
Dude tried to call himself, and I tried to re-upload this video on TikTok. But being that it was over an hour long, it wouldn't accept the upload. But you can be assured that this video that you watch it now, it will be both on YouTube and on TikTok, is a response to this guy's latest video, which is madness. Okay? Number one, you got your head covered with a hat on, trying to teach, and with shades, going off twice. Your breakdown was wrong, it was terrible. And you're trying to twist the scriptures to make it mean something that...
Well, he can wear shades. He might, he can wear shades. Nothing wrong with wearing shades. But if you're praying to prophesying, got to take your hat off if you're a man.
It doesn't mean you're all over the place, man. And the correct name is Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai. You couldn't even say that. You couldn't get that mealy mouth to even say those words, okay? And when you read the scripture, in 2nd Ezra 6 and 7, when it says, through verse 9, it says Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau. You said head, it's heel. Okay? But anyway,
man, you're probably drunk. Anyway, let's go over here. I'll come back. You people are getting so easy, man. Anyway, I put in 2nd Ezra, I don't know how this disappeared, but 2nd Ezra 2, 6, verse 9. The verse states, I think I put meaning. For Esau is the end of this age. Go back to Matthew 24 and 3. The disciples asked the Lord privately, show us thy coming and the end of the world. The word there is age. Age is a time of rulership. So what they were asking was, when are you going to take down the Roman rulership? And Esau is the end of the age, and Jacob is the beginning of the age that follows. So for Jacob to rule, Esau got to go down. Not the end of Israel's kingdom. It's the end of Esau's kingdom. signifying that Esau represents the current. Ooh, what does current mean? It means now. Era, while Jacob symbolizes the coming age. Ooh, wait. Let me read that again. So this signifies that Esau represents the current era, which is right now, while Jacob symbolizes the coming age, future. So presently, Esau is in power. So who's the power? The prince of the power of the air? Esau. Here's a more detailed explanation. Context: the verse is part of a larger section in 2nd Esdras, where the author is seeking to understand the timing of the end. But the author is Ezra. He's asking a question. That's why the Lord said, other questions Ezra asked thou not, because he kept asking. Ezra was asking a lot of questions, man. It says the timing, and it was kind of getting on this messenger's nerves a little bit, you know, because he said, you want to be so deep? Can you measure the weight of a flame? Can you see the sound of the voice and so forth? You know, he said, you want to try to get deep? I'm going to get deep with you. It said the timing of the end of the current age and the beginning of the next, which is Jacob. Symbolism. The verse uses the biblical characters Esau and Jacob. Why does the verse use the biblical characters Esau and Jacob? Because it's talking about Esau's world and Jacob's world to come as symbols for the end and beginning of ages. The beginning of ages is Jacob. He got it. Oh, sleepyhead got it backwards. Esau and the current age. Esau, known for his worldly desires and lack of faith. That ain't talking about us. Remember, we prisoners of hope. Is presented as representing the end of the current age, which is now, which is characterized by its flaws and imperfections. Because when our kingdom comes, we're going to be perfect. Jacob in the coming age. Jacob, who is associated with faith, perseverance, and the promise of a new beginning. Esau ain't looking for new, bro. You got a billionaire, right? Talking about, I want to live good. I want to live, motherfucker, you worth fucking $500 billion talking about you want to live better. We hoping for that. Represents the beginning of the age that followeth. Read that again. Jacob, who is associated with faith. Faith meaning you believe in something that's not there. Perseverance, patience, another word for that. And the promise of a new beginning. Why would Esau want a new beginning? He's doing good. We want a new beginning. We want a better world. Represents the beginning of the age of that follows. Jacob's hand holding Esau's heel. This nigga said head. The previous verse 6 and 8 mentions Jacob was born holding Esau's heel, which reinforced the idea that the two ages are closely connected. So there's no cap. Just as the twins are connected in the womb. Oh, he was definitely set up, man. Let's read it. Overall meaning. The verse suggests the current age. What's the current age right now? It's what is it? It's March 21st, 2025. It's 1 minute shy of 10 p.m. on the East Coast, Eastern Standard Time. That's considered. If I say what's the current time, I just gave it a current time. 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. Eastern Standard Time. The verse suggests that the current age, represented by Esau, is coming to an end. He said it completely did. He said it's talking about the end of Israel. And there's going to be a gap and a new age represented by Jacob. Go back to Isaiah 14. But there's many other precepts you can go to dealing with Jacob. Jacob is interchangeable with the word, going back to Isaiah 14, when it says Jacob, it's talking about the Israelites. It's on the horizon. See, that's why they set these guys up. Okay, let me read a little bit more. He was the grandson of both Jacob and Esau. He was the grandfather of both Jacob and Esau. That's talking about Abraham. That's why they mention Abraham in the text. And when they were born, Jacob was holding Esau's heel. 9th verse, Esau represents the end of this age. Matthew 24:3. And Jacob represents the beginning of the new age. That represents us. 10th verse. So if Jacob's hand is the beginning of Esau's heel is the end, do not try to find a space in between. Right, because the very second that this man goes, he's going down in the hour. When he goes down in that hour, the elect will be delivered, and as soon as this man is done, we're going to go right to work. We're going to take the kingdom over. We're going to watch the missiles hit this place, Babylon the Great. We're going to be fearful, that's in Revelation 11, and we're going to sing songs too, righteous songs. We're going to be singing the song of Moses, which is Deuteronomy chapter 32. People say it's Exodus 15. It's Deuteronomy 32. That's a song, which is a psalm. Deuteronomy 32, you sing that. So I don't got to read no more. But see, this, let me come back to the elder, the young elder. You can't run that game on us, partner. That'll work on you, on weak-ass Israelites that are not a part of the elect.
Fake ass excuse that you gave, you basically said that was the end of the kingdom of ruler of Israel. Man, the kingdom of Israel, we've been in exile all these many years. We under the curses. What are you talking about, man? What are you talking about? Even the Savior said in Matthew and Luke 21:24 that Israel will be trodden down of the Gentiles until the times of the Gentiles be fulfilled. We don't have a rulership. We're not in power right now. What are you talking about? Anyway, you just gave I don't even remember everything that you said because it was such a terrible excuse, but that's why I put your video in the beginning. So let's explain what 2nd Ezra 6 and 7 means, because you completely messed that up. And I got to bring it up over here. Let's bring it up over here first. Right, 16:11. And I explained it already in the video that I did, but this guy, you know, he just can't get it, man. I mean, at the end of the day, I did that video for edification for the brothers and sisters, not to try to prove nothing to this guy. As you can see, the dude is an old bottle and he can't get it. But since you went ahead on and you made another video dealing with it, you didn't even never try to prove that Esau.
Right, he's an old bottle. He's an old bottle.
Esau wasn't a white man, and really you did a good job of proving that he was. Because you said that fourth beast, that's who was talking about. Well, we explained it already. The fourth beast is ruled by Esau Edom, the so-called white man. You saying that Esau's not the white man, but you saying the fourth beast, you went into Daniel, into the book of Daniel, which that wasn't talking about America. It was talking about another part of the Roman Empire, but that's fine. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 6, verse 7. Then answered I and said, what should be the parting asunder of the time? This means the end of the world. It doesn't mean a dividing of time. It means the end of the world. And it literally says, or when shall be the end of the first and the beginning of it that follows. Now, real quick, a quick precept to show you, right? When you go to Revelation, this first earth age was ruled by these nations. That's what the first is referring to. All you need to do is go to Revelation 21 and 1. Listen to this. Revelation 21 and 1. And I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the first heaven and the first earth were passed away, and there was no more sea. What's this first earth and this first heaven? This is the first
Esau.
earth age or rulership. The first earth age, should we say. This whole age was ruled by 4 major empires. We're in the 4th now. You even admitted that, Kazakia. You even admitted we in the 4th. The 4th beast is ruled by the Edomites. It's not ruled by Jacob. Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau. Esau's the end of the world. And I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the first heaven and the first earth were passed away, and there was no more sea. And I, John, saw the holy city, New Jerusalem, coming down from the Most High out of heaven, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband. This is when we in the kingdom of heaven. Why are we referred to as New Jerusalem? Because we're going to have new bodies. We're going to be immortals. Okay? We don't have a rulership in this first earth age. When you go to Daniel chapter 2, it breaks down the dream and the vision there. This right here is the first earth age. The interpretation, Babylon, the first kingdom, right? Medo-Persia, the second kingdom, which we are in captivity in every one. Greece is the third, and Rome.
And remember, people can't get this because this book is written in code. Let me look up the word code. What's the meaning of the word code?
Here's the definition of code. A system of words, letters, figures, or other symbols substituted for other words, letters, etc., especially for the purposes of secrecy.
Ooh, I love it. I love it. I love it. A system of words, letters, figures, or other symbols substituted for other words. So in the New Testament, it'll say the Gentiles. The Christians say, see, the Gentiles can make it. Yes, but that's code for the Israelites that don't know that they're Israelites. When it mentions the beast of Babylon, it's not going to say in Revelation, when you come across the word Babylon the Great, it's not going to say this is America and the scarlet-colored beast is NATO, because they would outlaw the Bible. So what you talking about? Listen to a little bit more.
Rome is the 4th. Now, in your initial video, you said that all Edomites don't come through Rome. And that was correct. But at least you admitted that the Romans were Edomites.
They don't have to all come through Rome, but the Romans are Edomites. Europeans, right? Europeans don't just come from Italy. But you have people in Italy that are European descent. Then you have people, Germany, of European descent. So what the hell are you talking about, man? The rulers of the Roman Empire descended from Edom. Now there's other parts in the world where you had Edomites that had nothing, that didn't know about Rome. Did that make them not Edomites?
Were they not? The answer is yes. But the Greeks were Edomites. The Israelis are Edomites. They're all Esau, man. But that's okay. You can't really get it. And I don't think that it's just that you don't.
And another thing, Romans didn't necessarily know that they were Edomites, but they knew that when they were dealing with the Herodian dynasty, they knew that those are the Edomites. And they were looking, oh, these are the Edomites over there. But you are Edomites too, not knowing that you Edomites. Europeans around the world whose line go back to Edom, they're Edomites. But if you tell them you're Edomites, they say, what's an Edomite? I don't know what an Edomite is. See, these Edomites been watching us on YouTube, and they know when we say they are familiar with the term Edomites.
Don't understand it. I think you're just trying to be a gatekeeper, but that's all right. Everybody ain't gonna get the 100% truth, and it doesn't matter. We just worry about those that can receive it. So Rome, which is the 4th kingdom, is split into 2 parts, and we're in the second part of it now. We're in the toes. See, and after that you have the divine kingdom, which is the new.
Right, the toes part. The Esau, the commentator, is not going to tell you that it's talking about now. It's not talking about current Rome. Current beast system.
New heaven and the new earth where New Jerusalem is going to rule it. But before that, we're going to be in the 4th, which is ruled by Esau. That's what the first is talking about in 2nd Esdras. I just wanted to show that. And we got many videos covering that. So let's go back here. 2nd Esdras 6 and 7. Then answered I and said, what should be the parting asunder of the times? Or when should be the end of the first and the beginning of it that followeth? So what's being asked is, when is going to be the end of this world and the beginning of the world to come? And he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau. For Esau is the end of the world. It's the end of the world, or age. The Lord uses the term end of the world in Matthew 24 and 3. Let's go there. And we're going to come back to that. Matthew 24 and verse 3. And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him saying, Salakia, privately saying, tell us, when shall these things be, and what shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world? When you go into the Greek, the word for world here in the Greek is aeon. We always go into this. Which is what? Aeon. Come on, thing. I'm on limited time here. Come on, baby. The word is aeon.
Strong's G 165. Ion. Ion.
Right. He says ion. We say aeon. Either one. Ever, world, never, evermore, age. See, it's an age. Forever, an unbroken age. Perpetuity of time, eternity. The worlds. Down here, period of time or age, which is rulership.
But anyway, you can watch the rest of this. I suggest you watch the rest of this. So a little bit, about more than halfway through. So anyway, with that, I'm going to say shalom, on to the next shalom.